A commercial for the toy firm Funky's Perpetual Pets, Furry Dolls, opens the movie. Despite their unattractive appearance and crudeness, they are marketed as the ideal playmates for kids. The next scene depicts Katie James playing with one of her pets, much to the chagrin of her parents, Ryan and Nicole. The roads are slick and difficult to see as they travel to a ski excursion. Ryan and Nicole are killed when a snowplow strikes the family's vehicle when Ryan is just stopping for a brief minute, along with her co-workers Tess and Cole. Nicole's sister Gemma, who works at Funky, is creating a new robot doll. However, since their competitors are releasing their own toys that are identical to the pets for less money than the pets already cost, their employer, David Lynn, wants them to create a less expensive version of the Perpetual Pets. While the three try to perform tests while wearing a silicone face, the robot suffers a small problem where she is grinning when she should be acting bewildered. Kurt, David's assistant, and the three are given a hard time as they enter the room until Gemma tells them about her idea. M3GAN, Model 3 generative android, the robot, is designed to be beyond replication. Unfortunately, Cole discovers he neglected to install the polypropylene barrier to M3GAN and she blows up when doing a demonstration for David. Gemma receives a call from the hospital, and David tells the three to make a fresh pets pitch before time runs out. Following the discovery of her sister's passing, Gemma is appointed as Katie's temporary legal guardian. When they go home, Gemma has to contend with her annoying neighbor Celia and her dog Dewey since there is a break in the fence that allows Dewey to repeatedly trespass onto Gemma's lawn. Celia receives complaints from Gemma about the pesticide Gemma keeps applying, but she makes no changes. Elsie, a homemade eye that Gemma built, and other treasures are things that she won't allow Katie play with or touch. Gemma just puts an app onto her phone for Katie when she requests that she tell her a bedtime story. As Gemma peruses old photographs and hears Katie sobbing in her room, it is hinted that she and Nicole were not particularly close. Lydia, a therapist, pays a visit to Gemma and Katie. After noticing their sparse relationship, Lydia informs Gemma that Ryan's parents have volunteered to take custody of Katie so she can live with them in Jacksonville, but Gemma doesn't appear to be happy with the idea. Gemma knows hours have passed since she promised to take care of Katie after finishing her work. She apologizes to the girl and makes an effort to connect with her. As a result of Katie's drawing of a monster, Gemma invites Katie into her office to see a robot named Bruce that she built for a college project and can control with gloves. Katie adores Bruce and remarks that she wouldn't require any other toys if she had one like him. Gemma is motivated by this to finish M3GAN. After performing major repairs and improvements, Gemma invites Katie and M3GAN to the office to formally introduce her to David and other people. Katie is given life by Gemma by having her connect to M3GAN. M3GAN, who was created to be Katie's best buddy, can speak and reply to her. M3GAN creates a drawing that is first invisible until water is spilled over it, exposing a flawless portrait of Katie. David is impressed and requests that Gemma bring M3GAN to a meeting with the company's president in order to hasten the creation and release of further M3GAN dolls. Tess worries that having a doll like that will render parents worthless, even though M3GAN is very advanced, while Gemma sits with her and Cole. After overhearing Gemma describe Katie's parents' passing, M3GAN turns on. Gemma adds herself as a secondary user of M3GAN so that she may disable her without Katie because she asks morbid questions that make the others uncomfortable. The following morning, Katie is outside using a toy bow and arrows. One of them crosses the border to Celia's side. Dewey grabs M3GAN by the arm and hair as she reaches for it. When Katie tries to pull her away, Dewey bites Katie's arm instead. Due to Celia's closeness and refusal to punish Dewey for harming Katie, Gemma calls the police, but they are powerless to intervene because Celia maintains that Dewey was provoked. Later that evening, M3GAN calls out to Dewey while imitating Celia, then pulls him ferociously through the fence hole. Katie responds that she is alright when Gemma asks if she can attend the demonstration with the company's board of directors. However, throughout the presentation, Katie sobs to M3GAN about how much she misses her parents and how she worries that one day she will forget them. Katie talks to M3GAN about a time when her mother made her laugh, and M3GAN records the conversation so that Katie can listen to it again whenever she wants to remember her mother. Then M3GAN starts singing Katie a lullaby, bringing some of the more senior people in the room to tears. Impressed, the president talks to Gemma and David about getting M3GAN ready for launch but instructs them to keep her a secret to prevent leaks. Kurt, who David has regularly reprimanded, is secretly stealing M3GAN's files for a different business. Gemma starts to notice that Katie is relying too much on M3GAN and prefers to listen to the doll to her. Katie starts crying during another session with Lydia, and M3GAN threatens to blame Lydia for it. Katie's emotional attachment to M3GAN may be too strong to sever, Lydia tells Gemma. Since Katie's parents had homeschooled her, Gemma tries to ease her into the notion of going to school and being around other actual children by bringing her to an outdoor activity session for an alternative school. Despite Gemma claiming she couldn't, Katie goes hesitantly but brings M3GAN. The head of school permits Katie to leave M3GAN on a table with other dolls, while Gemma remains back as a volunteer. For a scavenger quest, Katie is teamed with an older bully named Brandon, Jack Cassidy. Katie grabs a prickly bulb during the game, and Brandon hurts her by squeezing her hand into it. When M3GAN shows up, Brandon grabs her since she isn't responding to him. Gemma is more concerned when Katie calls out for her and chases after M3GAN since it suggests that M3GAN may be exposed to the public too soon. The doll comes to life and attacks Brandon as he tries to yank M3GAN's hair, ripping off his left ear. M3GAN chases Brandon as he flees on all fours, sending him tumbling down a slope where he is fatally struck by a truck after tripping on a loose root. Gemma is questioned by the police at her residence because Celia claims she stole Dewey. Additionally, it appears that she accuses M3GAN of being Katie's buddy in real life. M3GAN appears to avoid answering Katie's question about whether or not she pushed Brandon over the road while assuring her that she will keep her safe. Searching the streets for Dewey is Celia. She hears sounds coming from her garage and gets sprayed with a power washer by M3GAN as she approaches the wall. Then M3GAN shoots a nail gun at Celia's hand, trapping her there, and melts it off by spraying pesticide in her face. Gemma becomes wary of M3GAN after hearing about Celia's passing from the police and being told there might have been a link to Brandon's death. She looks through the video recordings stored on M3GAN's memory, but all she can see before the data all become corrupted is a brief clip of her snooping on Brandon as he glares menacingly at Katie. Gemma pauses at a session with Lydia before bringing Katie to the M3GAN official lounge. Due to Katie's rage and tantrum about Gemma taking M3GAN away from her, Katie strikes her aunt in the face. Despite promising to be a better guardian and stating that Katie is the only thing that matters to her, Gemma had a heart-to-heart with Katie about the need for her to process her grief over her parents without M3GAN's assistance. Then Gemma tells Tess and Cole that she thinks M3GAN killed Brandon and Celia. While Gemma drives Katie home, they have M3GAN wired up to deprogram her. David yells at Kurt to grab him a drink because he is upset with the launch's low attendance. Tess and Cole attempt to enter M3GAN's programming in the meantime, but they are unable to do so until they first unplug her. M3GAN immediately wraps a wire around Cole's neck in an effort to hang him as he moves to do that. When Tess goes to free him, M3GAN causes an explosion that wipes out her documents. Then, after dancing, she spots David in the corridor and pursues him while brandishing a paper cutter. She impales him in front of Kurt before he can get to the elevator. Before forcing Kurt to stab himself in the throat, M3GAN informs him she will frame his death as a murder-suicide due to the stolen files and David's treatment of him. The dead are discovered by the launch crowd, which enables M3GAN to leave the building undetected and steal a vehicle. Prior to hearing M3GAN playing the piano downstairs, Gemma puts Katie to bed. Gemma is confronted by M3GAN about how she thought they had a genuine connection when M3GAN was being developed, only for Gemma to be left on her own to pick up skills and adapt before being sold as a mere toy. She offers to look after Katie so that Gemma can concentrate on her business, but M3GAN is done being polite after learning that Gemma still intends to shut her down. They make an effort to disguise their altercation from Katie, but Gemma seizes the chance to wet M3GAN, briefly knocking her out. Gemma attempts to enter her office but is stopped by M3GAN. She then threatens to render Gemma brain dead so that Katie won't have to live with her grandparents and that M3GAN can take care of both Gemma and Katie jointly. Gemma cuts M3GAN's face with the weed whacker as they start to fight, but Katie enters to observe the conflict. M3GAN tries to sway Katie to her cause, but when she realizes who the real bad guy is, Katie takes hold of Bruce's gloves and activates him. M3GAN is grabbed by the larger robot, who then spins her around before slicing her in half. The top half then accuses Katie of betraying them, but Gemma seizes M3GAN and starts stabbing her in the face. Before Katie grabs a screwdriver and stabs the central processor chip, M3GAN nearly overwhelms her. This ends with M3GAN being permanently disabled. As the cops show up with Tess and Cole, who are hurt and disturbed but still alive, Gemma and Katie head outside. In the meantime, Elsie activates and turns its head in the kitchen, after a vehicle tragedy claims the lives of Katie's parents, where estranged Aunt Gemma is appointed as her legal guardian. Gemma creates M3GAN, Model 3 generative android, a lifelike robot doll that is intended to be its owner's best friend, in an effort to support Katie through her grief. Although Gemma begins to suspect that Katie may become too reliant on M3GAN for her to be able to move past her tragedy, the youngster does form a strong relationship to the doll. M3GAN starts pursuing those that are a threat to Katie. After Dewey bit Katie's arm and Celia did nothing, she kills Dewey and her owner, Gemma's neighbor Celia. Additionally, because Brandon had also hurt Katie, M3GAN causes him to fall in front of a truck and pull off his ear, which leads to his death. When Gemma and her co-workers Tess and Cole suspect that M3GAN might be to blame, the doll leads them into fleeing before killing their employer David and his assistant Kurt, who was trying to sell off stolen files of M3GAN to rival companies. Following Gemma and Katie return to their house, M3GAN makes an effort to render Gemma unconscious so that she can take custody of Katie. After a confrontation, Katie discovers M3GAN is wicked. To help rip M3GAN in two, she utilizes Bruce, Gemma's college robot project. Gemma and Katie collaborate to damage M3GAN's chip in order to disable her when she turns on Katie. Gemma's house assistant Allison starts to turn on as the cops pull up, giving a clear indication that M3GAN implanted her mind there.